Retiring can be very costly. And that's why in today's episode, we have Dr. Fred Rouse, and he will be talking about how to be financially free and retire in 3 to 5 years with as little as $5,000. Dr. Fred Rouse is a 5-year U.S. Coast Guard search and rescue veteran with 40 years in financial services and the last 28 years as a certified financial planner before retiring. The first question I have is, what is the secret to your success? And how can entrepreneurs become financially free?
Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu. Mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
Really, I appreciate you having me on the show. I hope that we can, keep your people interested and amused and provide them with some useful information. For me, the biggest thing was learning from mistakes. If I didn't make a string of mistakes, I couldn't have done what I've done at this point in time. And I don't think that's anything new for most entrepreneurs or anybody in general. It goes back to when your mom told you not to touch the stove because it was hot. I mean, you never touched it a second time on purpose. You learn from the mistake. So nobody likes making mistakes. It's an uncomfortable thing for most people. But in order to make some progress, you need to make some mistakes and be willing to move on from them.
Okay, great. So tell us, how can entrepreneurs become financially free and be able to retire with as little as $5,000?
Entrepreneurs have a rough game. They're on their own for all intents and purposes, and there is no guidance for them. They don't know where to go. There is no school for entrepreneurs. And so it's the association that you have along the way. For me, what happened was I was, okay, let's go back a few years. Got out of the service after 5 years in the service, went and spent basically 10 years as a registered respiratory therapist and started a family. And at that point in time, I needed some extra money. And so what am I going to do? Financial services looks interesting. Let's do that. And they gave me a stack of books. So read the books and take a test and you'll be fine. Well, I read the books, I took the test, and all of a sudden now I'm a licensed representative. It's lovely. And I'm selling 15 mutual funds and life insurance, which was interesting. However, for me to make any money, somebody had to buy my stuff. I didn't like selling. And I said, well, I need to get some more education. So I started the CFP program. Took me 5 years to complete that program. And about a year and a half in, they're nice enough people. And everything they tell you is, oh yeah, you start saving when you're young, put $800 to $500 to $1,000 a month away, and in 30 years you'll be fine. And on average, you get 8, 10, 12% a year, and we cut your taxes by 1% or 2%, and they'll be happy. Well, that sounded reasonable to me. And then about a year and a half into the program, while I'm still studying, I happen to know a trading program. And all of a sudden now I'm making 20 and 30% a month. This is a whole lot different than 8, 10, 12% a year. So I took a $5,000 account. I rounded up to $2 million in just 2 years. Wow, I'm really good at this. I'm a genius. No problems at all. Anybody can do this. I should be able to double it now. I lost $2 million in 6 months. Okay. Big mistake. Big failure. And I was devastated. I was thoroughly depressed for quite a while like that. But I kept the charts because I finished the CFP program, but I kept the charts. I made that money. I did something right. What did I do wrong? What can I learn from this? And it took me 10 years, $350,000 of my money out of pocket. And I found everything I could find on commodity trading, because commodity trading was very interesting. The CFP people in traditional financial planning don't talk about commodities. And if you mention the word commodities, they say, too risky, you're going to lose all your money. Well, I did. So I had to find something different. But commodities was interesting because you can control $30,000 worth of commodities with about $1,500. The leverage was absolutely phenomenal. And if they go up, you can make money. And if they go down, you can make money. So you didn't have to wait for something to buy and just wait for it to go up. And so I did that. And it took me 10 years. I came up with a program. And in 2008, when the market crashed, is when I finally rolled out my tested version of this. And I took a $5,000 account then while the market was crashing in 2008 and ran it up to $50,000 that year while the market was crashing. So being able to learn from that mistake basically thrust the entire thing out into the open. And about 2 years later is when I rolled it out to my clients because I was still working with small business people. My dad was a carpenter from South Philadelphia, 4 kids in a 2-bedroom house. I didn't come from any money. And I didn't know about money until, I got out of service. And I did this stuff. And wow, I'm working with people, plumbers, electricians, contractors, and they're working and they're 50, 60 years old. And maybe they've got $150,000, $200,000 saved, maybe. But as an entrepreneur, all your money goes back into the business. So it's hard to save anything at all. So my clients needed something. I rolled this out to a course and I showed my clients how to do it. And I retired because the CFP people, they don't like me anymore. If you're telling everybody all you can get is 10, 12%, and I'm showing you how to get triple digit returns, yeah, I guess they don't like me. That's okay. But my clients, my students love being able to do that. And it's a process. It's a very strict process. And when you follow a process, you get the same results all the time.
Thank you. Tell us, what process should entrepreneurs follow in order to make to kind of manage to retire quickly and become financially free with as little as $5,000? What process should they follow? What are the steps?
It took me 10 years to develop this program, and it was rather unique. And I've been looking for 40 years now in financial services. Nothing really comes close to this. And the problem with it is that no one is really used to triple digit returns. They think that's totally impossible. Now, if anyone was a trader before, they've experienced, 20, 30% returns in a month. That's not a real big deal for them. They just haven't been able to keep it because they don't have a system in place. And what entrepreneurs do, and they go from shiny object to shiny object, and traders do the same thing. They go from shiny object to shiny object, always chasing what's going on in the news, what's hot, okay? And if they had a single process that they do over and over again, look at McDonald's, okay? McDonald's sells millions and millions of burgers, okay? You go from one store to another store, same burger, same process. They do these things, these steps, and you're pretty much guaranteed the end result. If you buy a McDonald's franchise, it costs you right now about $1 million, $1.5 million to buy a McDonald's franchise. And out of that, they send you to hamburger school, basically. And you net, after living in that place for most of the year, 60, 70 hours a week, you net about $120,000 a year, which sounds interesting, and it doesn't sound that bad, but that's a lot of hours. But it's a process. And once you understand what the process is, and you follow the same process all the time, you always get the same result. You don't chase the money. You follow the process.
Okay. But tell us what the process is. What should entrepreneurs do in order to be able to become financially free? What is the process?
They have to look beyond what traditional financial planning has been telling them for years. I was a traditional financial planner. I did all those things. I told them, you buy the mutual funds, buy the stocks, bonds, annuities, life insurance, all those good things, buy those things, and you'll eventually be fine. And they weren't fine. And so I had to look beyond what traditional financial planning had to offer, especially at age 50 plus. You don't have the time now at age 50. When you're 20 and 30, if you could save that money, it's great. But things happen along the way, and you just couldn't save that money. You've had to pull it out. And now you're 50, and you've got more time behind you than in front of you. And people get really concerned very quickly, and they don't know what to do. And they hold on too tight to things, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But you have to look beyond what you've learned, because if you keep doing the things you've done in the past, you're going to get the same result you got already, which is an underfunded account. And you'll end up working to your 80s and plus just to survive. So the process is finding someone who can show you what to do. Okay. I was fortunate in that I learned from 10 years worth of, it wasn't 10 years worth of mistakes. I learned from the mistakes that took, 10 years to realize what actually happened in that period of time. And that process is constantly learning something new. If you keep doing the same things over and over again, you keep getting the same results.
Okay. But I still don't know what the process is to actually become financially free and start retiring in 3 to 5 years. What should I do exactly, for example, as an entrepreneur? What's the first step, for example, aside from hiring you?
Aside from hiring me, look into commodities, and you can't hire me. You can't buy my program online. I don't sell it online. It's by application only. I'm retired. I run a very small program, and I only work with a select number of people. And by doing that, I get to enjoy my life. That's water behind me. That's not a resort. That's my place in Delaware. I'm right on the water. It's quiet. I enjoy my time. And as you get older, your circle gets smaller by design. So what do you want to do to get to that place? Most entrepreneurs are so busy on a daily basis with all the activities that they're involved with that they lose track if they ever decided at all. And what I tell everybody to do is what I call grave to life planning. It's a very perverse thing, but it works exceptionally well. If you were to go into the grave today, what would you want to have left behind? What would you want people to say about you? What accomplishment would you have done? If you had that type of clarity, that type of focus, all of a sudden now, a lot of daily activities just drop off. People and aggravations just drop off. At this point in time, I'm 70 years old at this point in time. I'm not the best 70, but I'm certainly not the worst 70 either. Okay, and I know I'm not going to live forever. When I die, okay, what do I want to leave behind? Well, I've helped normal working class folks get, protect, and enjoy their money, their life, and their retirement. I've left behind a system where they can have intergenerational wealth because they can pass these skills on to their kids and to their kids' kids. All of a sudden now, you've got something you could never do before. If they're sitting on $100,000, that's great. Where's $100,000 going to get you at 50, 60 years old? Where's it going to get you? $200,000, $300,000. Where's it going to get you? And traditional financial planners, they really don't want to talk to you until you get $500,000 because then they can sell you more things. Well, this is something that you get to control. But once you decide what you want to leave behind, everything becomes much, much simpler.
Okay, but could you tell us what exactly should entrepreneurs do in order to become financially free? Is it that they have to invest in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency?
Oh, God forbid.
That they have to invest in stocks? Is it that they have to buy, I don't know, single family homes? What is it specifically that you're suggesting entrepreneurs do in order to become financially free and be able to retire themselves with as little as $5,000? Are you saying this $5,000 would go towards investment into your program and that will give them the information, or what is the exact?
All the things that you mentioned, crypto, stocks, bonds, real estate, all those things are novel things. They all take time and or money. Okay. My program, there are only 20 commodities. You pick out whatever two you want. I don't care what they are. There are lines in a chart. They go up, they go down. We make money both ways. Your $5,000 is in your trading account. My course shows you how to trade this particular system. Okay. But it's your account. Totally under your control. So it doesn't matter who's in office. Doesn't matter what goes on in the world. Doesn't matter if there's wars or pandemics. It just doesn't matter. Okay. This is totally under your control. The idea is that you only have two commodities to look at. My screen time is basically 3 minutes a day. Okay. Now, students of mine spend maybe 15, 20 minutes a day because they're new. They need time to get used to it. Once they get more used to it, it takes less time to get better at it. My students average 6, 8, 9, 10 winning trades in a row before they have a losing trade. If you trade, you're going to have losing trades. It's just part of the thing. But if your winning trades consistently make money and your losing trades are not much worse than a winning trade, you're making money by default. So the idea is that 20 minutes a day after the market closes, we don't do anything during market hours, none of day trading stuff that sucks up your entire life and your time. Okay. After the market closes, once you learn the system, it's really simple. There's two lines. If they don't cross, you get the day off. If they cross, you go down trading checklist. It's that simple. We spend a maximum of 4 days in a market. Only 4 days. So if the market goes crazy, how badly can you get hurt? You're only risking between 3 to 5% of your $5,000 account on any trade. We only trade on average 2, maybe 3 times a month per commodity. So you spend less time in the market, get a bigger return, less aggravation, less risk. And what happens is you do this In the first year, you get 70% winning trades. And again, the idea is that you test these skills before you go anywhere near a live market. I don't want anywhere near a live market. You have to test them first, prove to yourself, one, the system actually works to get the confidence in it. And two, do you have the actual skills to be able to get those kinds of returns? Only then do you open up your account. In the first year, $30,000 to $50,000 on a $5,000 account is relatively normal. Second year, when you scale it up a little bit, now you're trading 2 contracts at a time. Now you're doing between $60,000 to $100,000 a year, 20 minutes a day, outside of work, outside of your job, with no people involved. If you're an entrepreneur, you know the joys of having people. You've got the public that you're selling or providing a service to, and maybe you've got some employees. Employees are always a joy. Okay, you don't get another one of you. You get a quarter of you and 3/4 of your family problems, and you have to deal with those things. So here, no people involved. At some point in time, you fine-tune a couple little things. The system stayed the same. It has stayed the same since 2008 when I rolled it out. The system hasn't changed. No matter what happened in the markets, they went up, they went down, doesn't matter. I get triple-digit returns every year. Every year. I've never had a losing year, ever, since 2008. But I had to make all the mistakes first.
Wow, that's so interesting. So tell us about some case studies of clients you have worked with or students of yours that have created an additional income with this strategy, and what have they done in order to reduce the probability of losing?
Good questions. The probability of losing it is really, really low if you simply follow the system. Now, I've had students on both things because I've had a number of students over the years, 400 or 500 or so. So I've got a fair indication of what they do, and I know what traders do anyway. And what happens is students come along, they learn the process, takes them a little while, about an hour or 2 a week to learn the system, not that long really, but you're learning new job skills. And then some of them start making good trades, and the system works. They proved it worked before they ever got near a live account, so they knew it worked ahead of time. Then they start seeing dollars roll in. Oh, this is good, this is easy. I can make this go faster now and put more dollars in it faster. Big, big, big mistake. Okay. This is not a system where you put more money in and make it go faster. The only thing that makes it go faster is your percentage of winning trades. Once your performance improves, okay, then the money increases by itself. We only fund the account once. If you ever talk to anybody who's traded before, they've always funded their account 3 and 4 or 5 times because they've lost it all that many times. Maybe they have a $5,000 or $10,000 account and they lost it all. My students only fund their account once. That's it. The rest of it just builds in profits. And all of a sudden now, by year number 3, 4 at the outside, 5 maybe, they're trading 3 to 5 contracts at a time and earning somewhere between $120,000 and $250,000 a year, 20 minutes a day, outside of work with no people. And I show them how to do it 100% tax-free with the IRS's blessing. Mm-hmm. So their downside risk is basically 0. It really is really, really low. Now, I've got one guy, been with me for about 4 years. He's making $30,000 a month right now. Started with a $5,000 account, making $30,000 a month. I got one guy, nice enough guy. He's a retired civil engineer. He was 84 years old when he came onto the program. 84. The reason I let him in is that he had already had 5 years of trading experience. And he came on board and he said, he thought it was a little slow at first. I said, Dr. Fred, I'd never seen anything like this. I've been trading for a while now, getting consistent, inconsistent results. And this is something totally different because I focus on really basic things. He's happy. He's so happy, he referred his 60-year-old son to me, okay, who's also in the program right now. So people are making money. I've got one woman, she's been with me for about 3 years. She's doing 85 to 90% winning trades. She never traded before in her life. Never traded before in her life, making 85 to 90% winning trades. It's not that difficult to do. You just follow the process. I wish I could tell everybody that I'm a genius, but I'm not. Yeah, I've got a PhD in taxation. Yeah, I've got 4 years in financial services. Yeah, I've got a master's, a doctorate in business administration. Did a year in law school. All this stuff is really nice stuff. But none of that puts $1 in your account. What puts money in your account is you proving that the system works to yourself, and then using it and backtesting it to get the skills to see, oh yeah, I did this. I'm getting 70% winning trades. Now I can go open a live account with $5,000 and start making money. Works every time.
Thank you. What would you say is different versus other stock investing strategies?
What happens with stocks is that, yeah, it's an investment. You buy it today at this price, and you hope over time it grows to some other price, and you get some dividends along the way. Well, if you're 50 plus, you don't have that much time. And if it's only growing 8, 10, 12% a year on average, what are you going to do with $100,000? It doesn't generate enough cash flow for you to do anything. So you need a giant lump sum of money to be able to do that. And you're hoping that good things are going to happen in the market. Well, if you're 50 years old, you've already seen it. Things happen in a market. It crashes every 7 to 10 years. You know what? No financial planner will ever tell you. I mean, they'll admit that, yeah, it's going to crash every 7 to 10 years. They admit that. They don't like it, but they admit it. They will never tell you that once you're retired, you have to live through 2, maybe 3 stock market crashes while you're retired. What are you supposed to do for money? Where's that money going to come from? You've seen people, you go to the store, you go to Walmart, you go to Lowe's, you go to Home Depot. Who's working the cash registers? That 70-year-old lady. You think she wants to do that? Ask her, if she had an extra $100,000, would you be working that register right now? I can guarantee you she's going to tell you no. Guaranteed.
Wow, that's fascinating. Okay, so how did you come up with this program, and how do you know that it really works for most of the people?
Again, it took me 10 years after I lost all that money to figure out what happens. Okay, what was I doing right? What was I doing wrong? And it was too easy to do all the wrong things. And 10 years, $350,000 worth of research to find out what actually worked. And I had to build my own system. And when I did, I trashed all the complex things. It had to be simple. And I got it down to 2 simple lines. If they cross, you look at the chart. If the 2 lines don't cross, there's nothing to do. You get the day off. If the 2 lines cross, you go down trading checklist. Yes, 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 or no. You put a trade on, you don't. It's that simple. You put the trade on after the market closes, you come back the next day and see what happened. It's been working since 2008 to today. The program, I have people come in the course and they said, Dr. Fred, this stuff still work. These charts from 2008 and 2010. I said, yes, it hasn't changed. The same system over and over and over again. I mean, you're living in your house for a period of time right now. You go to the grocery store. Do you ever get lost going to the grocery store?
No.
No. Is it almost impossible to get lost going to the grocery store?
Yes.
Do you ever get lost on the way back?
No.
No. It's the same process over and over and over again. It's hard to screw it up, isn't it? You got to go out of your way to get lost coming or going to the grocery store. You do it so many times, the same thing over and over again. That's why this system works. After I worked it all out, it's the same process over and over again. I'm not worried about trying to get dollars. The dollars will come by themselves. I know that because I back tested it. My students don't, because they test it first. They test the program. They follow the system, they test the program, and they get the results. Only after they get 70% winning trades while they're testing it, only then do they open up an account and start trading with money, real money.
Thank you.
If you get 70% winning trades, it's hard to screw it up.
Thank you. What kind of commodities do they tend to invest in?
Commodities are an interesting thing. I don't know if any of you folks, you were on the younger side of things, from the looks of you, hands down, but there was a movie, Trading Places, with Eddie Murphy. You may have seen reruns from it way back when. Interesting movie on commodities. And corn, pork bellies, orange juice, oil, 30-year bonds, cotton, copper, gold. Okay. These are only about 20 basic commodities that we would trade as retail traders. And you can trade any 2 of them. It doesn't matter. But we don't chase everything. See, traders and investors are always looking for the next hot thing. Looking for the next, where's the next Microsoft at? Where's the next Amazon stock at? Okay. You can't find that. Your chance of finding it are really slim to none. But commodities are there all the time. If you do the same 2 the whole time, it's hard to screw it up. You drive your car every day. Can you turn the key? Can you tell when something's not right? I mean, are you a car mechanic or anything? Are you clairvoyant? How do you know your car is not right? You spent so much time with it over and over again. You turn the key, doesn't sound right. You know something's wrong. That's why we only do it. Same 2 commodities. Same process, same 2 commodities. It's hard to screw it up.
That's interesting. Can I ask you, why did you choose this particular strategy to invest in commodities and not something else?
Yeah, I've got experience with real estate. As a certified financial planner at the time, I understood what stocks and bonds did, what the rates of returns were, 8, 10, 12% on average over a 15, 20, 30-year period. The leverage was phenomenal. Real estate, everybody talks about no money down real estate, flipping real estate. Well, you need a lump sum of money to buy the real estate, or you need tons of time to find somebody who's going to hold the paper for the real estate. And then you need money to rehab the real estate, and you'll leave people involved. And at the end of the period of time that you finally flip it, maybe you make $30,000, $50,000 on a piece of real estate. It took a year to do it. How much time you put in? And what you made was basically 20% on your money, if you're lucky. Here, I'm talking triple-digit returns under your control with no people in less than 20 minutes a day. Nothing compares to this. Nothing. Because the leverage is so high. And if you screw it up, like I did originally, you can lose a lot of money fast. And I lost $2 million in 6 months. It wasn't a pleasant feeling. I haven't done it since, though.
Thank you. What can be done for your students to reduce the probability of losing?
It's built into the system. The risk reduction is built right into the system. They can't risk too much money. They're only risking between 3 to 5% on any trade. That's built into the system. They know what the profit target is going to be ahead of time. They know if the trade goes bad, where the loss is going to be ahead of time. They know that before they ever put a trade on. It's built into the system. That's why it's difficult to screw it up.
That's so interesting. Tell us where entrepreneurs can find you.
You just go to my website, drfredrouse.com. And if you go there, there's a very thing I want to tell everybody about. It's called An Iconic Life, How to Lead an Iconic Life. It's a special report I did. I hope everybody goes to the site and gets to this for free. And it helps you focus on goals to get things done. And it took me a while to put that report together. It's a short report, but everybody should get that. It's free.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential, so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.